Hi, and welcome to Leg 12, the final leg of my Balkans road trip. We started this journey in Ljubljana 4 weeks earlier, and that's where we're ending the trip. Before we get to Ljubljana, we have one more stop in the town of Maribor, Slovenia's second biggest city. A beautiful city dating back to the 1200s. In 1900, 84% of the population was Austrian, and during World War II, when it was annexed by Nazi Germany, Hitler paid a visit and told the people to make this land German again. In fact, Maribor was the only city in occupied Yugoslavia that Hitler personally made a visit to during the war. As pushback to the Nazi occupation, many Slovenes began to organize and fight against the Germans, most notably the Liberation Front and the Communist Partisan Resistance Movement. With their small number and limited means, they resorted to guerrilla tactics and unconventional methods. And to honor the efforts of the partisans, this monument was installed in the middle of Freedom Square in the mid-1970s. Because the city was Nazi-occupied and had German munitions plants and factories, the Allies heavily bombed it, destroying 47% of the city. I stayed at a great apartment right in the city center, but since it was on a busy street and I had to wait for the owner to let me into the gated parking area, I was getting super stressed because there was no place for me to pull over and there were about 1 million cars behind me. When I called the owner to let him know I was there, I didn't realize he had already answered the phone, and I think he heard me having road rage. Oops. Oh my goodness. So I'm in Maribor now. I have 2 nights left of my road trip. After I left Montenegro, it's been going by really fast, and every place I've stayed at, I've only been there for like 2 nights. So it's like I'm just moving from place to place really fast, trying to like work, explore a new city, drive to the next place. It's just a lot, and I've had insomnia basically this entire road trip. So I've been like so tired every day. I got literally no sleep last night, so I'm really tired. And this second part of the road trip, it's been like a lot of more like bigger cities and lots of toll roads, which are boring, and I don't know. I definitely preferred like the little winding roads and like the southern area of Bosnia, Montenegro. Like for road tripping, that is more fun than taking toll roads and being in big cities and stuff, for me at least. So the second half of this trip has been fun, but not like the first half. I loved my apartment. It was the kind of place I could have stayed for a whole month. And they have Netflix, so I can keep watching Love on the Spectrum. And I made a coffee. They have an espresso machine. The second day I went out exploring, but it was freezing. The high that day was 31 degrees. The husband at my Airbnb said he thought it was the coldest winter they've had in 10 years. I dragged myself out of the house and told myself I'd go out just for an hour. But I'm really glad I decided to explore the town because it was very charming. This beautiful sculpture with the not-so-beautiful name of the Plague Column was built to show gratitude for the end of the plague that had wiped out 1/3 of the town's population in 1680. The original one was built in 1681, and it was replaced in 1743 with this one. It's made entirely of white marble with a glistening Virgin Mary at the top. The 12 stars standing on the moon above her head is a reference to Revelation 12:1, which says, "A great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head." There are also 6 saints surrounding the base, who the townspeople prayed to for intercession. If the city looks super quiet, it's because it was. Everything was closed. Unbeknownst to me, I decided to explore the city on a national holiday for a Slovenian poet. Oh well. After 2 relaxing days in Maribor, I headed to my final stop just outside of Ljubljana. I stopped in the town of Lashko on the way. It looked pretty in pictures and it's where the beer is made, but the traffic was so heavy, I was just over it and decided not to even get out and walk around. Then Maps.me decided to do its psycho thing again, where it takes me on small side roads for absolutely no reason, only to direct me back on the main road, which was a nearly impossible task considering the steady flow of cars going each direction. I stayed in this small town near the airport, and I was once again reminded of how this area gives me a low-key Bavaria feel. Look how pretty this view is. Just snow-covered mountains. Everybody walks their dogs. It's just really, and the churches are beautiful. Ooh, the bell just rang. How fun. So my windshield is filthy, but there's the church. And then you go down here. It's really cute back here. There's like several different apartment, places to rent. Get that. Look, this hillside is like reinforced because it's so, I don't know what's going on with it. And then here's me. I absolutely loved my little apartment, and it was a great way to end the trip. The only weird thing about this apartment was the sign by the toilet. Apparently people try to flush things like diapers, underwear, Band-Aids, which my brain somehow interpreted as a TV remote. In my journal, I kept writing about how everyone at my apartment, at the Hofer I went to, and the DM were just so friendly. I love Slovenia. I can't express enough how glad I am that I decided to do a Balkans road trip. It's not something I felt in hindsight like, oh wow, I'm really glad I made that decision. I actively felt that way from the moment I hit the road up until I returned my car. The Balkans is really a gem and I had a great time exploring it. There are so many beautiful places to see. It's easy enough to drive around if you're a confident driver. There's a lot of great history here, and the people, so nice. Didn't have one bad encounter with a person. I mean, except for that weirdo in Trebinje. But there's always an exception to the rule. My two standout countries this trip were Slovenia and Bosnia. I loved them. I feel like I could live in Slovenia. I don't think I could live in Bosnia, but boy, I tell you, that was the shining star of the trip for me. It was a total surprise to me how much I loved it. Montenegro was fantastic too. I didn't click with it quite as much as Slovenia or Bosnia, but like I said in my Montenegro video, I could easily plop down there for a month or two. Croatia, well, you know how I feel. It's a great place, I just don't click with it. I'm probably in the minority on that, but it's just my personal opinion. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with the country at all, though. My final thoughts in my journal were, I feel like everywhere I went, the people were so friendly. I don't want my road trip to end. I love road tripping. I love driving on roads I've never been on before, driving around, listening to music, seeing new places. If you feel that way about road trips too, then hit subscribe and notify because the next 2 series will be all about road tripping. First, my chasecation this year. It was one of the most satisfying chase trips we've had in a while, and we saw some great storms and found some great abandoned places. And after that, there's more road tripping. This one is a surprise, but I'm super excited about it. Stay tuned for these, and please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed my Balkans series and if you learned a thing or two. See you next time.